Benja, it's great to have a chance to speak with you, my friend. But more importantly, um it's congratulations to you, man. First up,
Right.
RBCX Music. You're part of the family, man. How does it feel being part of this, brother?
Oh man, it's so lovely. I mean, to the other artists who I got to, be in this experience with, to also the people who work there, it's just such a beautiful community and family, and it's really I'm really grateful to be a part of it.
How did you hear about this, man?
Um, Actually, I heard about it through Jem, who is, the awesome. She's the homie, and yeah, so we were just friends first, and then she was like, "Hey, I'm part of this really awesome program, and I think you'd be great for it." And so I looked into it, and obviously because I trust Jem so much, and she's such a wonderful person, I just knew that it would be a great program, and it is.
What's the program done for you so far, man? I mean, one of the things is you and I doing this interview.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, it's nice, and it's great to do this and to talk to you. And I feel like it's one of like my favorite things that it's done so far is just like I've already connected with a lot of the other artists who are a part of it, and we're like planning shows together like outside of the program and doing sessions and hanging out and talking. And I feel like that is really beautiful because at the end of the day, it's like what I really love about making music is like collaborating with other people and meeting new people. And so that, besides all the other cool stuff it does, that is one like really tangible thing that I really appreciate.
And this is why we're doing this, man. So we get a chance to meet you. Torontonian, correct?
Yeah, born and
What's it
raised.
like as a musician growing up in Toronto when you know that you've got places like Little Jamaica, Little Italy, Little India, all of these multicultural communities, and all those communities have multicultural music. What is like that being in Toronto and hearing these sounds and whatever when you're developing your own sound?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's honestly really inspiring to I guess just to see so much and feel so much around you. And like I'm also mixed, so like my my dad is from Ghana and my mom is from Croatia, and so I was like around, even like with them I was around two different worlds. Like with my dad I would be taken a lot to his, like he plays a lot of like African drum gigs with like dance companies, and my mom used to work at the Canadian Opera Company. So even like,
Yeah.
and there's so many pockets for so many different kinds of music and food here, and I think being exposed to them is like it's just so useful, and I think it makes for a more like unique uh expression of whatever you want to make so much
It's
more.
funny. I'm glad you brought it up about your parents because I read up about that. And I want to know, what is it like when you have your dad, multi-instrumentalist, and being able to learn those kind of beats and sounds and that. But then when you have a vocal talent like your mom, where you don't have to go somewhere to get trained. You got the best of the best there right in your own home. What is that like? And did you even realize you were, and in some ways, you're training without knowing that you're being trained?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like especially being around, being around so much like drum and dance,
Yeah.
whether I knew I did it too when I was younger, and but like even just being around it and doing it, when I was young, I was like, oh, I didn't really, well, I wanted to just be playing with my friends or whatever. But still, I'm really glad because it put music in my body. All just growing up around it just put it in my body, and like that's how I know when I like music, if I feel it in my body. And that I think is all from when I was like just growing up around it, just the ability to feel it in your body.
Do you have a label on yourself? Because I heard somebody saying about you being sort of like a jazz kind of thing, but when I hear your music, man, I'm hearing so many other things. I mean, you could throw the world music thing in or whatever, but I'm hearing the soul. I'm hearing the R&B kind of thing. I'm hearing the folk thing there too. I'm hearing so many other different things. You can even throw in a little bit of country on that too. I'm hearing so many
Hmm.
things in there. Do you have a label for yourself?
Um, I I don't really. I guess when people ask, I just say like indie music because I feel like it's a it's a really broad term, and like that's the kind of music that encompasses a lot of genres nowadays. So that's what I say. But I guess I don't really care too much for the labels. I let other people decide if they want to.
Then what attracts you to certain things and sounds and music? And what I mean though is, would you say that you can record one song one way one day, and then the next day it's something completely different that you've done the next day? And if so, what would attract you to that sound to create that song?
Hmm, that's a good question. Definitely my songs. I can like make songs sound really like, as long as the song is there. I think it can take a lot of different forms
Yeah.
of life. What attracts me, like, well, I guess when I start making something, I always just start. It's always like a guitar part first because that's like my first instrument. That's what's natural to me, and it's usually like I'm not setting out to make a song. I'm just like I feel like I gotta play my guitar right now, and then I start playing, and then I just know that. Then I feel it in my body, and then I write on top of it after. And then, yeah, as long as the song is there, like in guitar and melody, then I feel confident that I can, whatever, get it with a band or produce it out or see whatever way I want it to go. But if there's a guitar part that is expressing something I'm feeling, I write lyrics on top, I feel it in my body, then that's how I know I want to make the
Then,
song.
then let's go to the lyrics though, man. What are the stories that you love to tell?
I'm still learning. I don't know. I guess I think from my first EP, the stuff I'm working on now is maybe going to be a little different, but I definitely like to explore like my growth as a person, I guess through, classic like romantic relationships. I think those are a really good way to explore how you grow and how you like relate to people, and all your flaws and everything. They're all exposed in such a dense way, like in romantic relationships. And then also my family. I like writing about my family because, again, that's another, it's kind of all just like ways for me. It's kind of like my like therapy or like a self-discovery tool. So it's whatever is like helping me understand my life in a way that hopefully I can make it beautiful to other people.
During COVID, we all had some type of self-discovery. Did that change you musically in any way?
Yeah, I went through a lot of different phases of the kind of music I made in COVID. And I kind of, with all the time, I ended up like going back to a lot of music that I listened to in my childhood that my dad would be playing around the house. Like he played a lot of high life music and like D'Angelo, Erica Badu, like the
I
live
was doing
record.
the same thing, man.
That's cool. There's something about that time. It's like I gotta just connect back to something far back. And I think that really, and also then like indie music, like the stuff that shaped like my teen phase, which is like, a huge emotional time in anyone's life, and kind of seeing how all those tie together. Um, and that I think kind of gave me a good direction for what I wanted to make.
Now, you talked about earlier, you released an EP, correct?
I have an EP out, yeah.
You have an EP out. When was that released? I just want to make sure I got the timing right.
That was when was that? In March, I think, or April.
Of this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Did what we just talked about, the pandemic, going back to transitions, did that reflect on this EP?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I think it was a lot of it was made, all the songs were written pretty much during the pandemic actually. And so, there's some, whether it's like a result of all the music I checked out, or there's even some songs that I think were just brought about by the like isolation and like seeing how you can change as a person, even though you're in the same place, and then the place looks different to you because you've changed. There's a song about that called Tokyo. And so, yeah, in so many ways, it definitely shaped that project.
Then let's make this part official. What's the name of this great EP, and how do you think it reflects on who you are as we speak today?
Okay, yeah. So the EP is called Ivy. One of the songs is called Ivy, but I just kind of liked it as an overall image for like somebody, well, two, either one person or two people, but just growing like ivy, you know, just like kind of wrapping around a tree and just like growing and melding together. And yeah, I guess it's something about it just felt right to me. Something about the growth of it, just like always growing, you know.
What's gonna happen show wise, man? Are you gonna be hitting some shows here in Toronto? And if not, are we gonna see shows anywhere else around Ontario or even across Canada?
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly working on the next project right now, but I'm doing a show at Adelaide Hall in September, at the end of September, opening for somebody called Baby Jake. And then
Yeah, I know Baby J.
oh, cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So opening for him, and then a couple of days after, I'm playing a festival called Highlands Music Festival, and yeah, that's kind of what's on the horizon. And I'm also planning a show with two other RBC members, Avery and Charlie Houston. We're trying to plan a show for the end of the summer, so we'll see if that ends up happening.
Fantastic, man. I love what's going on. I love your vibe and I love what you're doing, man. I got to say, congratulations being
Thank
part
you.
of RBCXMUSIC. Congratulations and being part of the family. Congrats on your new EP. And I think what's really important with you is, man, I mean, you know how it is when you're listening to radio, Spotify, whatever. A lot of times there's that sort of single sound.
Mhm.
Nobody can put you as a single sound, man. You are universal, and you keep doing that,
Wow.
man. You're going to be breaking molds, and that's what's very important. And the fact that you're part of the red, white, and the maple leaf, man, it's a great way to represent great Canadian music, man. Congratulations on your success.
I really appreciate that, man. It's been so nice speaking to you. Yeah, and sorry.
That's okay, man. That's okay. I'm gonna hit the stop button. I know where I'm gonna stop it when